doesn't need much convincing.
เศรษฐกิจ
She's a farmer and says the economy has gotten worse since the military took over. She grows cassava and sugarcane, but says prices have fallen so much she can't earn. It was better before, she says, when former Prime Minister Thaksin's parties were in power. Many others at the rally agreed. Ari is voting for the Thaksin-founded Phua Thai party. She knows the military has stacked the deck against it, but remains defiant. We'll fight for who we want, at least we get to vote, she says. After nearly 5 years, that's a start. For NPR News, I'm Michael Sullivan in Nakhon Ratchasima.
This is NPR News.
You're listening to Morning Edition on Wisconsin Public Radio, and it's 7:42 now. Good morning. The Marketplace Morning Report is on the way in 9 minutes with the latest business news, and today on the segment they'll also look at how illegal sapphire mining in Madagascar is causing a serious problem for its local lemur population. That's on the way here on WPR.
I think employers would be happy to match what you're doing. Their employees, they would love for the organization that they work for to match contributions. Public radio is for the public. It's a wonderful institution. If it didn't exist, it would need to be invented, especially these days where there's desire really to have good, solid information. I think Wisconsin Public Radio provides that. I'm Miguel, and the W.K. Kellogg Foundation, my employer, matches my gift to Wisconsin Public Radio.
Support for WPR comes from the UW Health Breast Center, offering second opinions for more than 4,000 Wisconsin women and men diagnosed with breast cancer each year. More at uwhealth.org/second-opinion. Support also comes from Menominee Street Dental of Eau Claire, with information online at msdsmile.com. New patients are welcome. At Menominee Street Dental, the most important smile to us is yours.
You're listening to Morning Edition on Wisconsin Public Radio, and here are some of the day's top stories that we're following. International aid is trickling into the East African countries of Mozambique, Zimbabwe, and Malawi after a cyclone triggered deadly flooding. Relief efforts have been slowed down by airport closures, but they're slowly gaining steam as foreign governments pledge help in the aftermath of the cyclone. Houston authorities on Tuesday assured residents that there were no measurable air quality problems from a petrochemical storage terminal fire, despite a huge black plume of smoke that could be seen for miles. The fire began Sunday at the International Terminals Company in the suburb of Deer Park, southeast of Houston. Officials say it's uncertain how long the fire will burn. And state agriculture officials are advising farms not to spread manure on fields under current weather conditions. We'll have more on that story along with all the latest national, international, and state news in 15 minutes here on WPR.
Support for NPR comes from this station and from the Walton Family Foundation, where opportunity takes root. More information is available at waltonfamilyfoundation.org. From the Doris Duke Charitable Foundation, which supports the career pipeline for clinical research through the newly created Physician Scientist Fellowships and other programs. Learn more at ddcf.org. And from the Arcus Foundation, dedicated to the idea that people can live in harmony with one another and the natural world.
It's Morning Edition from NPR News. I'm Steve Inskeep.
And I'm Rachel Martin. Since President Trump took office, the U.S. military has quietly increased the number of airstrikes it carries out in Somalia. That's according to a new report from Amnesty International. The Pentagon insists that anyone killed in these attacks has direct links to Islamist militants in Al-Shabaab. The human rights group says that is not true. NPR's Ada Peralta joins us on the line from Nairobi. Ada, can you explain more about what Amnesty is alleging here?
Yeah, so they used satellite images to pinpoint where these airstrikes took place. They sent researchers into what were really remote parts of Somalia, and then they talked to families, to witnesses, to doctors near the strikes, and they say they are confident that at least in 5 of those strikes they looked at least 14 civilians were killed. I spoke to one of the researchers, Abdullahi Hassan, and here's a bit of what he told me.
The U.S. government have indiscriminately killed some of the civilians. When they attack civilians who are with their family, or when they hit a vehicle carrying Al-Shabaab fighters in the middle of a village full of children and women, then that is also unproportional.
And Hassan says that they have killed women and children, and he says one of the big problems is that the U.S. is acting with impunity. They admit that these strikes take place, but they're not taking responsibilities for any of the civilians that may have been killed. In fact, Hassan says the U.S. is not even conducting on-the-ground investigations to find out who these airstrikes are killing. And Amnesty says that some of these strikes